Ariana, you've just... Oh, there's a fly on your face. Let me just get that for you.
No! Please, don't.
But it's on your eye now.
She's watching.
There we go. No fly in the eye. She's mine!
Thank you.
And I'm thinking to myself, the question is, what do black women have to do to be feminine enough for this system that we live in? Hello, my name is King. Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be discussing another very interesting issue that has been floating around, on the internet. And I just want to give my 2 cents. This is going to be a commentary on the situation at large. The main thing I want to speak about is just the way there's been a lot of racism / misogynoir specifically targeted towards Cynthia Erivo in all of this. And I just want to look at, I also to have this like skeleton of the situation, the cast of Wicked goes on their press tour and people are seeing the way Cynthia and Ariana, they are like in relating, and it's kind of strange, and it's just very intense, and there's nothing anybody can do about it because they're just like they're in their own world there. And then this weekend for good tour, press tour, we're seeing a lot of changes in their bodies, and the changes are very worrying. To be honest about it, they're very worrying. But then again, at the end of the day, we can only speculate. And if we feel up to the point where we need to speak up, we can just give advice. You can just say, oh, I think you should get this checked out. I think you should, get some kind of evaluation, about what is going on with your bodies. And we can only do this from an audience standpoint. We can't interfere with their lives. That all of that to say, it's just like people just have this whole thing where they say, oh, it's weird, Ariana thinks that are being weird. The tension has been so heavy, there's the tension about the way they relate with each other, there's the tension about the way their bodies are, looking so far as of late, including Michelle Yeoh. So that one too is in conversation there. Cynthia and Ariana Grande are both like at the forefront of this whole like, speculative tension and discourse because they're the main characters. Yeah, that leads on this movie that they're both promoting. So this thing is like brewing, the tension is brewing, everything's hanging in the air. Then, of course, something to break this tension is the inciting incident. And this inciting incident was during, I think, an event, and some random fool, a man jumped Ariana Grande. And she was so startled. You could see the fear in her face, in her eyes. Cynthia stepped in as a friend does, as a friend would, as I would expect my friends to. If I'm in a situation where I am totally overpowered or I'm just frightened. And she stepped in and she pushed the guy away and held her friend's rose with this fierce expression on her face because rightfully so. How do you chase a predator or do you chase an attacker from your friend with a smile on your face? Do you do get away from my friend? Oh, I'm such a kind angel. No, she was angry, she was upset she was rightfully upset on behalf of her friend. I think that when they call themselves friends, I guess. But let's just use the word friends, like generously. The tension that has been, in the air for weeks and weeks now, has gotten resolved by her by having a target, somebody to present as a punching bag, as a dartboard for all every sort of, worries that the audience and the fans are feeling towards, the both of them, existing. And of course, it chose the black woman. Of course, it did because it's just what happens, and that's what I want to talk about. The fact that in the blink of an eye, and for doing a good deed, that she became a target, for all fandoms of these both fandoms of the movie, the stupid fucking movie, and the fandom and Ariana Grande's fandom, and also aside the fandom, there is also the system we live in. Yeah, the system we live in that bases all forms of entertainment, all forms of enjoyment of media on the mockery and disproportionate violence and just misogyny towards black cisgender and transgender women. It's going to a week now, or it's been a week where there have been non-stop skits and videos and pictures and art, whatever, of Cynthia being postured as this uh, sort of masculinized caricature of a person, protecting her fragile angel of a white, baby woman. Yeah. And it's so disturbing to me that I could not even watch like through how many videos of this just to prepare for this video. I could not watch it. It was so triggering to me, yeah. Because no matter how a black woman presents, at some point in her life, she has been the butt of the joke by men, by the system. And she has been the butt of the joke. She has been the ones that comedians use to climb the ranks of fame. When a basic as comedians start to make joke about black women, you start to see the audiences, increase, like expand. You start to see them being called for more shows. Yeah, it doesn't matter the race of the comedian, black men especially, but even white men do it. And another thing again, you notice like even on YouTube, yeah, when YouTube just began in 2006 or whatever, like back here in my own country, far, far away from America, I was not able to escape Shane Dawson. Like people would have this low quality, stupid fucking videos on their phones, and it was like so revolutionary. Like, oh, look at somebody, playing at comedy, and it was Shane Dawson in the league. It was Shane Dawson with his Shanae, Shaniqua, all those things. It was Shane Dawson with the exaggerated makeup and just always cosplaying as a black woman. And it wasn't funny to me. It was never funny to me. And there is nothing funny going on right now. Okay, so I don't know if people think this kind of comedy is going to fly. Like people are attempting to offset the pressure of the grim world that we exist in right now by using their usual target, a black woman that is square and comfortable in her skin, or that is square and present very, very normatively. I just want to say nobody's laughing with you. Nobody will laugh with you. Okay, nobody's laughing with you in the sense like I hope people continue to make videos about how disgusting the situation is, and I feel like us saying this overflow is just like kind of a gaslighting means to make us not speak up, to make us believe that we will not be heard. But I put it to you that I disagree. I disagree. I think this time it's not going to fly. Caesar, in the comments of one of such, stupid videos, stupid acts, and Caesar said something very, very apt. Okay, she called it out. She said at some point later in the future we'll start saying we're against this. Like, no, let's not get to that point. Let's call it out now. Let's stop it now. Okay, why is it so easy to pick at a black woman that was just standing up for her friend? you know. And I don't know, I don't want to put the onus on Ariana Grande to be like, hey, everybody stop piling on my friend. Hey, everybody, this is ugly. Don't do this, because I think Ariana Grande has her own issues with the audience right now, her fans, okay? And I think anything she says, I think they're just going to kind of dogpile on her with a different kind of misogyny reserved for white women. Misogynoir is a very, it's a fascinating, reality. Yeah, that I love the way a lot of creators, black women on this platform have spoken at length about it, and just seeing people talk about Cynthia Erivo in this light is just, it bothers me, and I'm scared, to see where it is heading to, and that's why I'm making a commentary on it right now. I don't think it's fair for a woman to be borderline villainized for protecting her friend. At this point in time, the guy did it. The guy is a YouTube, is a TikToker. The guy that jumped Ariana Grande is a TikToker, and he did it for clout. And it's something I feel he regularly does. He's on his channel. From what I saw, he's just a basic white guy. I don't know his ethnicity, but he's a white man, and nobody's paying attention to him anymore. Nobody's making videos about how nasty that was. Nobody's making skits about how ugly, his the repercussions of his behavior were on the person he attacked. And even if they're calling him out, it is drowned out by the overflow of misogynoir being perpetrated against Cynthia Erivo. It is ironic because Cynthia plays Elphaba in Wicked, and her desire to do something good for the people in her land, turned against her. It ended up being turned against her, used as a weapon, and she was eventually chased out of and outcasted from society. Like, although she left on her own way, but she was forced to, you get. So, and then the Wicked ends with this no good deed goes unpunished. Basically, the beginning of Wicked started with Glinda, having this whole song and dance about how Elphaba is the wicked witch, of the West. What did she do? She just tried to speak up for her people. And she was villainized, because she was different. She was just different, and it was easy to put a target on her back. It's easy to put a target on the backs of black women that present, differently. It's so easy to make them the butt of jokes. It's so easy to make them the villains, no matter what the situation looks like. Okay, even if she does something like worthy of praise, she's not giving her flowers because she's just like, ugh. Like, she can take it. She can take being sidelined. She can take being not recognized. She can take being villainized and all of that. Yeah, and that is very sick and twisted. So, speaking about difference, Cynthia Erivo she is different as they come. She is married to a woman. She's square. She presents as femme, but she has a completely shaved head. Like, she styles herself with her head. She's not styling herself to overshadow her head, to overshadow her absence of hair. She's not styling herself to compensate for her absence of hair. She's styling herself as a person, as with her own personal sense of style. You see her very long nails, very soft spoken mannerism of speaking. She dresses so flamboyantly. She has the loveliest, like, gorgeous earrings on and jewelries, and she has the biggest smile ever. I feel like when the press stuff for Wicked, started, there was a lot of buzz, but it was not really outspoken. There was this buzz about her being bald, and I don't know, maybe it was this expectation for her. There was this expectation for her to conform to what they already expect of typical, being in the media space here. They had this expectation that maybe she would, I don't know how they expected her to cover up her head or something, but she was very comfortable in her skin. She has never been uncomfortable about her hair status here. And we even have this meme of her, like, stroking her head, like clicking on her head, and that has to feel very, very good, I imagine. Yeah. But she does it, and she's been made, like, a meme has been made out of her. In fact, there are so many memes flooding the timeline, because of her expression. She has the loveliest, like, sometimes comedic, sometimes just like very playful expressions, and she's been made into several types of memes. And I feel like there's no way she was not aware, that she's not aware of this meme culture around her expressions. And I still don't see her toning it down. I've never seen her toning down during a press conversation or whatever. She's still very much herself. So this is somebody that is living fully in her skin. This is somebody that is very comfortable in her skin. This is somebody that is very, very confident, about the way she presents, and she is queer, she's different, she's black, and she's not afraid. And I don't think the media can handle such a thing. I don't think the media can handle such a thing. And when I talk about media, I'm no longer talking about this populist traditional media that we have. We are now talking about TikTok. I'm talking about YouTube. I'm talking about Twitter spaces. Like, they can't handle it. The people that are flooding TikTok now, yeah, the adults all over TikTok and YouTube and Twitter, and even Instagram are people that grew up under 2000s heavy misogyny against women. Like, women were criticized for being too fashion forward, and women criticized for being not fashion forward enough. Women were criticized for being underweight. Women were criticized for being overweight. Women were criticized for being even of a normal average weight. Like, there was nothing women were not picked at and criticized under the 2000 media's landscape. Yeah, it was intense and it was so normalized. Yeah, but anyways, in this era, a woman living comfortable in her skin and being a woman of color, a black woman, let's just say a black woman, it's difficult. They cannot take it. They cannot take it. And then you now juxtapose it with her relationship with Ariana Grande. What the hell? Why is this woman getting along with this other woman? And you know how Ariana Grande has a very massive fan base filled with, I think, a majority of not people of color. I don't know. I feel like there was this tension brewing. Okay, it was bound to happen some way or the other. I knew there was going to be an inciting event that would effectively put the target on Cynthia's back. That would effectively put her in this position to be piled on with the overflow of misogyny that is ready in abundance for black women. Okay, for black women existing in visual American media. Caesar spoke up against it. It's not funny at all. And it just reminds me of when MBB Millie Bobby Brown, she no longer goes by Brown anymore, she's married. I don't know her surname. I'm not keeping up with her like that. But there was a time she came on Instagram and she was just like, it's enough. It's enough. Why do you go after young women? Why? What have I done to make you write this level of vitriol against me? What exactly did I do? I dyed my hair, and she wasn't even saying it in a, oh, look at me, I'm pitying, because no, she was saying it in a very angry way. She was angry and she was kind of like, calling out the journalist, which was a woman, a journalist of that particular media piece here. And she called it out, and she was not calling it as, oh, look at me, this woman speaking up. No, she said it that let's basically like a let's square up. Like, in this situation, if Cynthia responds with any form of aggression about it, it will not end well for her. Like, I feel like it's going to be very ugly. It's going to get even worse than it, because I remember when she called out people, I think they edited her poster for the first weekend. She was uncomfortable. She didn't like it. Everybody has their own idiosyncrasies, and it's not about doing things for people saying, oh, you're just doing art for an artist, or you're doing fan art, and or maybe you're making a like an edit to something that they've worked on, or something that they were involved in. The thing is that they don't have to like it, and they also don't have to appreciate it, yeah. But they can keep that to themselves, because at the end of the day, this is a kind of like a symbiotic relationship where my contribution, my attention towards your artistry is what keeps you going. That's the system we live in. We live in an attention economy. So, me, paying attention to your work enough to take my time to, make this sort of art out of it or edit out of it, it's going to make me feel slighted when you kind of like kick me with your rejection of it here, because rejection is ugly. She basically rejected it and said she didn't like it, and everybody piled on her. Everybody was like, oh my god, like, let's not do this thing now, first she will say this thing, let's not, like, this kind of, it was really bad for her, and I don't think she expected to get that response. Maybe that's why she's been quiet, because now that this is even a much serious, much more valid, reason to speak up for herself, to say, hello, this is rude and uncalled for. I was just helping my friend out. I think you guys need to chill with this sort of behavior. It is reminiscent and it stinks of misogynoir, because why is Ariana Grande now made to be this lovely baby, cannot help herself, creature, while I am made out to be this monster, this big black man, that is so disproportionate to Ariana Grande's stature and masculine in that way. Why me? Why me? Like, stop it. Like, she will be buried. She will be buried. They will not take her serious. They will bash her even more. The TikTokers will go out of control. Like, you literally see ugly ass TikTok couples, or I don't know, their couple of friends or shitty people, mostly of a certain ethnicity, mostly of a certain race, white people, making skits, mocking the whole situation. Yeah. And it's like, hello, hello. Are we ignoring the violence? That was the aggression, the aggressive violence from a random man and that happened to Ariana Grande. Why are we not speaking up for Ariana Grande? Why are we not cheering on her friend? And then I now see another video like this week again come up where they are at a speaking conference, speaking to, and this male interviewer who's Ariana Grande, and he's shaking her. Like, he asks to hold her, I think, and then he just goes ahead, even though she was like shaking her head, he goes ahead to hold her hand and shake her like this. And Cynthia is like, Baba, calm down. And she does it in a very polite way that, it's just something that happens in social, environment. Women looking out for women. You just like, Baba, shift. Like, dude, give her space. Calm down, okay? That kind of thing. And she did it. And then there was not this evil edit made out where the music was not like wah, 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 as if Cynthia Erivo was this oppressive kind of coercive presence at Ariana Grande's side, always controlling the things that happens to her or happens with her. And it's like, are you sick in the head? Una no dey think like, why is this happening? I don't know if this theory is correct, but I feel like the weird stuff going on in the production of Wicked, with the cast, there is something weird going on. They can't all just be presented in that manner, looking so very different and emaciated than they were when they started the production. And I don't use it as derogatory. I use it as just a description of the way they look, and I'm worried, and I don't mean to be, that person that comments on a skinny person's, body, whatever. Yeah, it's very sensitive. Like, you don't talk about it, but at the end of the day, when something is off, when something is looking obviously wrong, we can't just keep quiet. Can we? We can't. Like, that would be siding with whatever is wrong. With the silence is complicity at the end of the day. Back to the theory. My theory is that everybody wants to pin it on Cynthia. Everybody wants to make Cynthia out to be this kind of cult leader that is making the rest of the women, the female leads in the cast, fall in line. You know, there's this hint of say, maybe something is going on in the cast, and they are looking for who to pin it on. Basically, American media and American audiences are looking for who to pin it on, and they want to pin it on the black woman, of course. If it was two female white leads, I think the problem will now be pinned on the director, but now we have a black woman, a black woman that is queer. She's not even a regular heteronormative, this heteronormative presenting woman that is that abides by standards of beauty and expectation of beauty for black women. She's just herself. She's uniquely herself. She lives in her own body confidently. She presents freely in her own skin. She's not scared, to look a certain way in front of the camera. She's confident in her abilities. She sings her ass off and she does a damn good job of it. And she's proud to promote the film because she knows she did well. She knows she killed that role. She knows she did absolutely, she was absolutely stunning in the film. So there's no reason for her to cower at press. There's no reason for her to hide and not be herself during the like on the press store, and it is making a system that is built on the oppression of women like her, is making a system, an entertainment industry that is built on the mockery, the humanization, the subjugation, of women like her. It's making them uncomfortable. And so this is the result of it. This is the result of it. There's no other conversation to be had. This is how the system was built, and the more we feed into views and likes and jokes, and it's just a jokey joke. It's just funny. We feed into it, and that's how we have someone like Donald Trump in power. That's how we have buffoons like Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth in places of power, destroying the country to pieces. And I'm saying destroying the country because it is a first world country. America is the number one country in the world, and not because they are good or not evil, but because they have the most. They have spread their imperialistic talons on every country in my continent, and so I have to speak about it here. We jokey ourselves into fascism. We're jokey ourselves into misogynoir of a black woman. I just want to say the whole idea of what like this speculative tension and discourse going around about what's going on the cast of Wicked. I feel like we need to just hope for the best. Yeah. Hope for the best. Let's not like speculate ourselves into a witch hunt, and then make somebody that is part of the targeted minority group, marginalized group, suffer for it. Because this is a witch hunt. It's Elkaba slash Cynthia Erivo is the target. So what are we going to do about that now as a people, as a society? How do we stop the witch hunt in its track? When we watch movies like Wicked, we feel this thing that, oh, I'm seeing all sides of the story. Elphaba is innocent. Elphaba is doing the right thing. Elphaba did the right thing. Elphaba is standing up for the weak and oppressed. Why can't these people see it? And it's like the unique situation that we are in right now, the world where we have media and we have this surveillance media here. Everybody is seeing all sides of it. And yet the witch hunt persists. So I feel like it's just a unique place to be. It's a unique time to be alive. Yeah, it's a unique time to be alive, and it's like how to stop a witch hunt. We are part of the minority that knows that this is a witch hunt. What do you do? What can you do? All I think I can do is, which is what I'm doing with my video now, is to speak up, okay, and not to buy into the despair of the mob is pushing us into. Because the people that are perpetrating the witch hunt are a mob, we feel like there's nothing we can do, but we can do something. We should not give in to despair, and we should call it out for what it is. This is a witch hunt. There is no witch here. There is no evil person here. This is just a woman standing up for another person, for a fellow woman. Okay, who we should call out is the systems that perpetrate this sort of witch hunt, because no matter what, there will always be need for a target. There will always be a need for a target, and the reason why there's always a need for a target is not because there is always wrongdoing. It's because the system thrives on subjugation of marginalized women, people, black women. Yeah, so that's what I have. That's what I have. I hope I can edit it to be very short, and I hope it makes sense. Kind of garbled. Yeah. Thank you for watching. I hope you subscribe. Thank you for supporting my other videos. I'm so happy to see you here, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.